So we just got a secret package from Google Pixel, and you can probably guess what's inside. So let's slide this open, and ooh, what do we have here? It is a custom Pixel 7 box. My name is Daniel, and I have a Google Pixel. Hashtag Team Pixel. Wow, thank you Google, this is so cool. And inside we get the Pixel 7, the Pixel 7 Pro, and of course, the Pixel Watch as well. And we're gonna take a look at the Pixels right after this. If you just got your new Pixel 7, O2 are launching a great new plan called Switch Up, which gives customers the freedom to change their current phone for a newer one anytime they like. There are no limits on how long you need to have a phone for, and it's included automatically on O2's Plus plans. Or you can add it as a bolt-on for just £399 a month. And now, back to the video. Now, taking a look at the boxes, you can probably tell that they're almost identical to the ones of the Pixel 6. The only difference is, of course, the image of the devices and the text. However, with the Pixel 6s, the side of the box actually matched the color of the phone, which was really cool. Sadly, we don't really see this with the Pixel 7 box. Okay, so let's see what we get inside the Pixel 7 box. Lift up the top, and there you go, the Pixel 7 in snow. Wow, this is such a nice color. It's like pure white, looks amazing. We'll take a closer look at that in just a second. And inside the box, we get a USB-C to USB-A adapter. Really nice that Google is still including this. We get a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable. Then we get this really fat booklet. Okay, so just the warranty guide, and that's pretty much it. No charger. We do get a SIM eject tool, but that's pretty much it. Oh, and in case you're wondering, the 7 Pro comes with the exact same accessories. Okay, so let's remove the paper wrap. We got the Pixel 7 and the Pixel 7 Pro. And I gotta say, there's not that many differences between the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro. The 7 Pro has a 120Hz panel compared to 90Hz. You also don't have any optical zoom on the Pixel 7 compared to the 5x on the 7 Pro. And of course, the 7 Pro is also bigger compared to the 7. But other than that, these are almost the same. Another difference would be the frame, which is polished aluminum on the Pixel 7 Pro compared to matte on the 7. Now, comparing the colors against the Pixel 6s, you can probably tell that the white version is way more white. So this is the snow versus the previous white that the Pixel 6 Pro came in, which has a very yellow tint to it. And same goes for the new black model, which is now called Obsidian compared to Stormy Black like we had before. And you can probably tell that it's way darker than on the Pixel 6. And Google has also now removed the dual tone look that we had with the Pixel 6, where the top bit was lighter than the bottom. Now, the next thing that I want to take a look at is the build quality, which was quite poor with the Pixel 6s. For example, even though this camera strip looked like it was made out of one single piece of glass, it wasn't. The glass part was only this straight piece on top, and then you had this rounded part, and you could actually feel a transition between the rounded plastic and the flat glass, and I don't know, it just felt really, really cheap. And then on the top we had this weird piece of plastic which acted as an antenna, and you probably know that a 5G signal was pretty poor with this phone and the reception in general. However, with the 7 Pro, this is significantly improved. So the camera strip is now a single piece of metal, which was of course much easier to curve, so it's just one piece. And on top of that, we also no longer have that strip on the top for the antenna, so everything feels way more polished and way more premium than on the Pixel 6. And all of these improvements also translate to the standard Pixel 7, and I gotta say, I do actually prefer the matte camera module compared to the polished one that we have on the Pro model. And one big change here coming from the regular 6 is that the 7 is now smaller, so it has a 6.3-inch panel compared to the 6.4 that we had before. So it's definitely easier to hold and use, although it's not quite as small as the Pixel 6a, which has a 6.1-inch panel. Now, I have actually noticed one downgrade when it comes to the build quality. So when you move your finger from the display to the frame, you can actually feel the transition, which is very, very sharp. So yeah, it doesn't feel great. Whereas interesting enough, on the Pixel 6, this actually felt way more seamless. Now, Google mentioned that they slimmed down the bezels on the Pixel 7 compared to the 6, and you can probably tell that they are indeed thinner, especially if you take a look at the top one, but sadly they're not as thin as on a Samsung phone or even on an iPhone. Now, if we compare the bezels on the Pixel 7 Pro compared to the 6 Pro, they look mostly the same aside from the top bezel, which is actually thicker on the 7 Pro. The side bezels also look thicker, but that's simply because the screen isn't as curved as it used to be on the Pixel 6 Pro. Now, with the Pixel 6, a lot of people were complaining that the fingerprint reader was way too slow. So let's see if this is any better now. And as you can probably tell, the Pixel 7 is a tiny bit faster. The difference isn't that massive, but there you go, it does unlock a bit faster than the 6. Another new feature on the Pixel 7 is Face Unlock. And if you take a look at the settings, you can see how before we only had the fingerprint unlock listed, and now we have face and fingerprint. So let's see if this is any good. Now, even though the Pixel 7 only has one front-facing camera and no actual 3D depth sensors, Google is saying that this is actually building a 3D map of your face, so similar to how Apple does it with actual 3D depth sensors. So this should be better, faster, and hopefully even more secure than what we have on other Android phones. Okay, so that's now set up. And there you go, it's really, really fast, as you can probably tell. Once you tap on the lock screen, it automatically unlocks. Now, in terms of the angles, let's see if I hold it like this. Yeah, it can still recognize my face, so it is pretty good actually. It seems like it can even unlock when it's flat on the table, and I don't even have to be right above the phone. It can already detect my face, so yeah, I'm surprised honestly. It's way better than I was expecting. Now, the only downside compared to Face ID is that it does require light. So when you're in a darker environment, it's not really gonna work, or if it does, it's gonna be really, really slow. As you can tell now, it actually doesn't really work. Now, the speakers on the Pixel 6s were okay. Let's see if these are any better now with the 7s.
I don't know why you left me bleeding. With a broken heart, tell me if I deserve this feeling. I thought that you know that we had something special till the end of all this. You told me you left me bleeding. With a broken heart, tell me why I deserve this feeling. Thought that you loved me.
So let me know in the comments, which one of these four did you think sounded better? To me, the Pixel 6 was the worst, then the Pixel 6 Pro, then the 7, and then the 7 Pro. There was a noticeable difference between the 7 and the 7 Pro, with the 7 Pro being quite a bit clearer. So next time we also tested the outdoor brightness to see if there was any improvement coming over from the Pixel 6. And to be honest, they looked almost the same. However, the iPhone 14 Pro was noticeably brighter with that 2000 nits brightness compared to the 1200 on the Pixel 7 Pro. And on the Pixel 6 Pro, Google only states high brightness, but yeah, like I said, both looked pretty much the same. Now, another improvement that Google made is in terms of the front-facing camera. So we have a wider lens and a 10.8 megapixel sensor compared to the 11 on the Pixel 6 Pro. So this is actually a lower resolution sensor now. And taking a look at these shots, you can probably tell that the background is sharper on the Pixel 7 Pro considerably, but then the foreground is sharper on the Pixel 6 Pro. So my face was noticeably more detailed on the 6 Pro, and this applied to multiple photos, by the way, not just this single one. So that was very interesting. However, as you can probably tell, the 7 Pro definitely got way more stuff in the background because of that wider angle. The processing, however, was pretty much identical on both, so Google hasn't really improved the processing in terms of that front-facing camera. So the 7 Pro might look a bit less detailed than the 6 Pro because of this, and it looks like the Pixel 7 Pro does also have less noise compared to the 6. Now, the standard Pixel 7, of course, it doesn't have any optical zoom module, but now it actually uses sensor crop, so it works in the same way that the iPhone 14 Pro works. And to be honest, it looks almost as good as a 2x optical zoom module. However, of course, it still doesn't compare to the 5x optical zoom on the Pixel 7 Pro. Another new feature is macro mode on the ultra-wide module on the Pixel 7 Pro only, and honestly, this makes such a huge difference coming from the Pixel 6 Pro. Just take a look at this. And we also took a more general shot to see if the processing is any different, but just like with the front-facing camera test, it is not. If anything, I think maybe the 7 Pro looks slightly less processed compared to the 6, but to be honest, the difference is just so minor that it's just not even worth mentioning. Another new feature that we get on the Pixel 7s is cinematic mode, which works in a very similar way to how it works on the iPhone. It is essentially cinematic video. But unlike the iPhone, which has a 4K 30 resolution, the Pixel 7 Pro caps at 1080p 24. And I gotta say, when it comes to quality, yeah, it's a bit weird. The blur effect is just way too much, and the iPhone simply looks way cleaner and of course way sharper because of that 4K resolution. And I was really curious to see how the performance of the new Google Tensor G2 compares to the Tensor 1 inside the Pixel 6 Pro. And as you can see, we are getting a significant improvement in terms of the CPU performance, a small one in terms of the GPU, also a small one in terms of the memory, and a significant one in terms of the user experience. Antutu is one of those benchmarks that tests a lot of things, and as you can probably see, yeah, the performance improvements is quite significant over last year. Of course, that I will need to use the 7 Pro a bit more to be able to 100% say if that is indeed the case for every single use case. So in conclusion, the Pixel 7 Pro is actually a nice upgrade over the 6 Pro, especially when it comes to some of the camera features like the zoom and the macro mode. Now, we are currently working on a very detailed camera comparison between the 7 Pro, the 6 Pro, another one against the iPhone and the S22 Ultra, so definitely subscribe to see that as soon as it comes out, and let us know in the comments if you also want to see a video on the Pixel Watch against the Apple Watch. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'm Daniel, listening to ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.